Hey people, it's Megan. So, anyways, it's been a while since I've been back on YouTube and all that. So, if you're like watching, I kind of completely changed now. I'm not wearing the beard and all that. You know, if anybody that hasn't really been watching my Upadate 99 channel in a while. So, anyways, a lot has kind of changed since like my channel had gone down and back up, you know. So, if anybody that had noticed, it was that after those false flags had taken down my channel, you know, it took me a long time to get that back, you know, because the whole YouTube was like all, sorry, we couldn't help you about that sort of stuff there, you know, even though they were like ignorant about that, and I think I created much of a ruckus that brought the appeal process down, even though it's kind of shitty in some ways. And so, anyways, so I started my other channel, which was the Mr. Rukage. I think it was like the Mr. Rukage channel, yeah, and the Mr. Rukage 99 channel, which was kind of like a backup to that one, because my Rukage 9, I think it was like the Ninja Rukage 9 channel, it was like my second channel that I had as a backup. That one got was like closed or something like that, because since I didn't have a a Google account tied to that email for that account. So basically, that's basically what happened. You know, I hate doing that kind of stuff. That's just another aspect thing. So, anyways, as far as the next thing that pretty much had happened so far was back in, I think it was probably a little bit, almost 3 years ago, you know, when I was right around the time when I got sick with like the severe gastrointestinal, you know, the gastro, I'm forgetting how it's spelled. It's like the gastrointestinal or reflux disease, you know, like the severe acid reflux, you know, that kind of stuff, you know, that was gone to the emergency room for that. I think about two times pretty much, you know. And then the other time I think although they said it was like gallstones, you know, but I think it was just too much, whatever over-the-counter medication that I was having during that whole week, or it was like the week before I got into the hospital a second time. So then I think it was probably about a month when I started to feel better. That's when I had all these like copyright notices there around the Mr. Rukage channel, and that channel went down for all these copyright strikes because I felt really pissed off as far as that goes, and pretty much woke the sleeping giant as far as that goes by running around challenging all those little notices, you know, when I should have just left it alone, you know. But it's just mainly the ones notices that were just blocked for some reason. And then it took me maybe about like almost a year for that channel to get back up, when I pretty much had threatened to sue YouTube to take away their DMCA safe harbor status, you know. And then kind of point out how they're not doing enough to help the users as far as that goes, and letting the so-called copyright holders like exploit the system, because there are some that have a legitimate use for it, but there are other people that abuse the copyright system there kind of for doxing, or for outright censorship, or to steal ad revenue from people who legitimately use it for ad revenue as far as that goes, especially where it was like lots of Let's Players, or And in some cases, some of the Let's Players would be hit with like such sort of notices of like such claims from some people, from some companies that do not own the copyright for it. What if it was certain songs or certain things that were on the music video, on the video games there, that were licensed by the developers and the video game publishers, but yet we would have something like, oh, this one song was like claimed by such and such, which wasn't really the one that owns the copyright for that matter, and then a couple of other stuff there. But mainly it's most of the video game developers or publishers are pretty much okay with it, all of that, at least, you know, for the most part, because they get free advertisement as far as that goes. Whether it's from PewDiePie, Markiplier, Zach Scott's Games, or all these other little whatchamacallit, Let's Players and all that kind of stuff. So as far as everything else seems to go now, is that I'm kind of in between like the computers and stuff like that, because the computer that I normally use out of is pretty much on its last leg, and I'm kind of meaning to wanting to get it get a new one and all that kind of stuff, you know. So as far as everything else seems to go now, is kind of a little bit strange that all the other stuff has come around, you know. Although, I guess I should pretty much also mention like how I got my Rukage 99 channel back, you know. So, and not just like the other one, you know. So it was just mainly that I kind of followed all these kind of multiple complaints against YouTube on the Better Business Bureau, or FTC complaints against them about such practices and stuff like that, you know. And I think I pretty much had mailed one like where I think this one guy had said something like, this one video where he had like, how do you get your account back, that you go on this link to kind of file an appeal, but also go on this one to email the YouTube's legal team as far as that goes. So I completely forgot to do that there, you know, or I probably did it on the wrong email as far as that goes. It was really that you have to email it as far as what email address that was associated to your account. So that was one of the reasons that had the problems there. So it was basically after I kind of had filed all those multiple notices there, you know, then I pretty much had sent one. I had like one appeal there, and then they kind of like said like, oh, we decided that it stands, you know, and then I pretty much had emailed another one and said something like, and then did one with to the legal team saying that I filed multiple BBC complaints and FTC complaints. If you reject I want to know why you reject my appeal, so I can sue your ass, you know, that sort of thing, you know. And so basically they sent me like the whole email back about a couple after that, and saying that they kind of decided to reinstate my channel as far as that goes. So, and that's kind of like the whole thing, you know, if anybody is wondering why my Mr. Rukage 99 channel came back, you know. So, anyways, I guess that's probably it until next time.